Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be comparing the New Balance 990 V1 and the New Balance 990 V6. After I managed to acquire an early pair of the 990 V6, I thought it would be really cool to compare it to the original 990 V1. Released back in 1982, the 990 V1 was one of the first ever shoes to retail for 3 figures, and it was considered to be a more luxury item since it was really expensive, it utilized premium suede materials, and it was being manufactured in the USA. It was a performance running shoe that capitalized on the running trend, and it specialized in both comfort and sizing. Slated to release at the end of 2022, almost 4 decades later, the 990 V6 continues the original 990's tradition of providing the user with a ton of sizing choices, including wider widths and narrower widths, as well as providing excellent comfort for performance running and lifestyle wear. In this video, I'm going to be showing the key differences in a side-by-side comparison between the shoes, as well as an on-feet comparison, as well as a comparison of sizing, comfort, cushioning technology, quality, and designs of both shoes. Both shoes primarily use pig suede as the main material of the shoe, and the toe box area utilizes suede and meshes, but as you can see in the V1, the mesh isn't necessarily as breathable in contrast to the modern 990 V6's mesh. The 990 V1 also lacks the 3M reflective accents and the nubuck accents featured in the 990 V6's toe box. The 990 V1's toe box is a lot simpler and only utilizes 2 materials. The sides of the shoes reveal that the 990 V1 again is very simple. It mostly utilizes suede and mesh, whereas in the modern 990 V6 you get a combination of suede, more breathable mesh, nubuck panels, 3M reflective panels, as well as an N logo that is bigger and utilizes 3M reflective material, whereas the 990 V1's N logo simply utilizes white leather. Another key difference is the laces. The 990 V1's laces are flat and wide, whereas the V6's laces are flat and a little thinner. Besides the obvious design changes, the tongues are also very different in the sense that the V1's tongue is very thin and arguably a little flimsy and can curl around your feet, but the V6's and some of its predecessors' tongues are a lot more thicker and padded and is nowhere near as flimsy as the V1's tongue, which is nice when you put the shoe on your feet. Another contrasting detail between both shoes is the ankle lining. The 990 V1 utilizes a soft, thin suede ankle lining, and in contrast, the 990 V6 utilizes a more padded mesh ankle lining. Another big difference, which I'll get more into later, is the midsole shape of the shoes. The 990 V1's midsole is a lot flatter and a lot less supportive, whereas the 990 V6's midsole is a lot thicker, a lot more cushioned, and is more structured to support the feet. And lastly, we have the outsoles of the shoes. The 990 V1's outsole has some traction, but nowhere near the amount of traction and shape of the 990 V6's outsole. Now that the side-by-side comparison is over, I'll show you how they compare on feet. As for sizing, the New Balance 990 V1 in my opinion fits true to size. I am a true size 9.5, so I buy my 990 V1s in a size 9.5. The 990 V6, however, has a bigger toe box area similar to that of the V3, V4, and V5, so I recommend going down half a size from your true size. I am a true size 9.5, so I get my 990 V6s in a size 9. As for comfort and cushioning technology, the 990 V1 was the original shoe that introduced end cap, or back then it was simply called the motion control device. End cap consists of a solid polyurethane heel cradle and in the middle of it is a soft EVA core, giving the user a good combination of cushioning and firmness. The 990 V1, despite being over 4 decades old, still is pretty comfortable today in 2022. As for my comfort factor rating for the 990 V1, I give it a 6 out of 10 for cushioning, a 6 out of 10 for stability, and a 5 out of 10 for midsole shape or support. The 990 V1 gives the user an excellent combination of stability and comfort, but the midsole shape is definitely lacking. But then again, the shoe is over 4 decades old, so there's been a lot of time to develop more supportive midsole shapes as the years went on. In addition to end cap, the 990 V6 also utilizes New Balance's flagship foam cushioning technology, FuelCell. FuelCell is present throughout the forefoot of the shoe as well as the heel of the shoe. The heel of the shoe utilizes a combination of both end cap and FuelCell. For my comfort factor rating for the V6, I give it an 8 out of 10 for cushioning, a 6 out of 10 for stability, and a 9 out of 10 for midsole shape or support. FuelCell gives the V6 an extra amount of cushioning in comparison to its predecessors in the 990 line. It still has a good amount of stability, but noticeably more cushioning. The midsole shape, in my opinion, is the best midsole shape out of all 6 990 versions. The midsole shape is thick, which gives a good amount of cushioning and support, as well as an overall supportive shape for the foot. The FuelCell end cap combination gives the user a propulsion feel when you walk or run. Because the heel area is stiffer than the forefoot, it helps push the user's foot towards the forefoot to give them a propulsion feeling. The 990 V6 is definitely geared towards performance running, but it also looks dope for lifestyle wear. In terms of quality, obviously both shoes are made in the USA, so they utilize higher quality materials than Asian-made New Balance shoes. The 990 V6 I have right here is simply a core classic colorway, so while the suede is definitely good, it's nothing out of this world compared to special GRs or collaborations. And the 990 V1 I have right here is a special version series edition, so the suede and meshes used are on a higher level than a regular GR 990 V1. Quality will vary from colorway to colorway, and depending on if it's a special GR or collab, that unfortunately is true for all shoes, so I can't necessarily give a direct comparison of quality, but I can say both of them are made in the USA and they both feel excellent in hand. I think it's really cool looking back to see how the newest 990 compares with the original 990. It's also really interesting how the original 990 still feels good 4 decades later after it was released. If I were to pick a favorite from the two, it would be really hard. In terms of cushioning and all-day comfort and performance, obviously it would go to the V6 because of the FuelCell end cap combination as well as the excellent midsole shape. And while I like both of the shoes in terms of their aesthetics, I just love the classic retro runner look of the V1. I mean, it's a timeless look and it's very simple and it looks excellent in lifestyle wear. It's really hard to choose between the two since they both have their pros and cons, and 4 decades separate both of these shoes, but honestly, you're good with either of the shoes. In terms of aesthetics and looks, which would you guys choose? Do you prefer the V1 or the new 990 V6? I'd like to know in the comments. Next week, I'll be making a 1-week 990 V6 review, and in addition, I'll be making a 990 V5 and V6 comparison video. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials. Thank you to all my Patreon backers. Check out the Intelligent site for more New Balance content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.